Hello, and welcome back to the second episode of Dishes for Kids, starring me, Vatsal Kumar. So last time, we made pancakes, and today, we're going to make homemade Cheerios. It's a very addictive cereal, and I absolutely love it. So the ingredients we're going to need to make this cereal will include oatmeal, or old-fashioned rolled oats. You must use these. You don't have to use oats. You can use barley, wheat, corn, rice, whatever you want. You also need some honey, or you can also use brown sugar. That's what they traditionally use. But honey works just as well in your home kitchen. A little bit of salt to bring out the flavors, and a little bit of butter. That is softened at room temperature. As you can see, it's very soft. Now I can easily squish that. And the big star of the show includes this thing, our blender. The first step you need to do is lock down your blender. Now, here is the first step. Let me angle this towards my blender. Blender. Ah, here we go. All right. So, the first step includes 2 cups of Quaker oatmeal cereal, of Quaker old-fashioned rolled oats in our blender. For me, that was the whole rest of the bag. All right. All right, I'll be right back. Let me just grab the top of my blender. All right, I got the top of my blender. Now, you're going to pulse this until you get a very fine texture. And I'll be back when it's all blended. All right, I think this is all fine grained. Let's see. Look at that. That is very fine grained. But, you know, I want this to be extra fine, so I'm going to blend this a little bit more. I'll be right. It's ready. Yes, my dog just barked. And wow, the consistency is very perfect. That's exactly what you want. Plug out your blender. Whoopsies. Shucks. That was an accident. Okay, now we take our oats and we place them in our bowl. And you know what? You can also use your hands for this, but as you can see, I'm just kind of mixing it up a little bit in here. Make sure your hands are very clean for this part of the recipe. Now, I'm going to take a wooden spatula. I found this is the best tool. And we're going to add in 1/2 a cup of honey. Now, one thing I like to do is I like to take some of this butter at the bottom. I like to put it in my pan, and I like to just swish it around, give it a good grease, so that the honey won't stick. I recommend you try this at home. Alright, now let's add 1/2 cup of honey. Now, if you've got muscles, this won't take very long, but I'm not the strongest one. Do you hear that? Not strong enough. I love myself. Okay. I'm not the strongest, guys. This will take quite a long time, but as you can see, I'm roughly there. All right, just almost there. All right, now that's perfect. This is perfect. Next, we're gonna add in our honey. right out like that. Although, sorry, just add in the honey. Just use your spatula. Find it to be the best tool to do this job. Okay, perfecto. Place this here. Now we're going to use the spatula to incorporate that honey. Honestly, don't think this is how you make Cheerios, but I'll try. You know what? And you know what? If your mixer needs a little help, you can add a little bit of milk to this, but I honestly don't find it to be a little necessary. I mean, the honey is actually a very good binder. So, and when we're going to add the butter, it's all going to start coming together. Alright, now it's starting to look a little bit like the Cheerios, at least the texture. This doesn't make a lot, so it's a pretty small bowl. This bowl is just big enough. Alright. Remove your dough mixture. Next, we're going to add in our butter. That's 1/3 cup. We're going to use our hands to just mix that in. The oven just preheated. Also, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit for this recipe. That's the perfect temperature. All right. Look at that. This dough will be a little tacky, so don't worry. It's fine. We're going to live. We're going to live. All right. Just about there. I want the big hunk. I need the big hunk of butter mixed into the rest of my mixture. As you can see, this is what I'm doing here. Okay. Alright, now you're going to go wash your hands. The dough gets very sticky afterwards, so wash your hands. Sorry, my sister just came by. Do you want to see my sister say hi to the camera? Okay, she doesn't want to. Okay, so. Sorry about that. Okay, let's clean up any mess you made. I spilled a lot of honey, but okay, we'll live. I find the best tool for this is to use your hands. Or you know what? I'll be back after you clean up the spilled honey. Be right back. All right, I'm all cleaned up, and this is what it should look like. It should look very thick, very dense, very grainy. So now take a baking sheet lined with aluminum foil because we're finally ready to bake these. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a tablespoon and just lightly oil it. And you're going to take 1 scoop, clean off the edge a little bit, and just place it on your pan. I'll show you a trick to make a little signature hole, but that's actually going to be optional. You won't have to do that. And if you get a big hunk of butter, that's okay. As long as there's not like the whole stick in there, it's fine. It's just like a if it's a big chunk, then if it's not like covering the dough, then it's fine. Okay. Now this is my very first time making these. You know what? I think I can put a little more. So I've used about half the dough, or half the batter. And so far we've got 6 Cheerios. You know what? I think I used up a lot more than half. This actually does not make a lot. Or you know what? If the grease starts to run out, use your fingers. Kind of put it in there. It's okay if they're not perfect. This is the beauty. Alright. Boom. Remember, these are going to cook, so they will develop a lot of texture and they will turn golden brown. And we're gonna add that salt before they bake. Just helps it get a little bit saltier. Gets a little bit more flavor. All right, almost there. All right, this recipe makes 10 Cheerios. Surely not a lot. Wash your hands afterwards. Now, here's an important part. You're going to grab some oil and you're going to put it on your hand. Mix your hands with it and you're going to kind of mold them up so they become evenly rounded and pretty good distributed. It's important to know that your oil should be near you during this step. Now this step is optional. This is just if you want perfect Cheerios. I prefer to have perfect Cheerios because they just look nicer that way. When they're going to be done baking, I'll show you how to cut them up, but that's also an optional step. Yep. Yeah, and if the oil starts wearing away, I mean if it starts sticking to you like a lot, then I'll show you what to do. They're going to be in that oven for about 15 minutes.